Greetings and welcome to the Dicey Cantina and our podcast reboot of the series. I'm Andrew Armstrong III, your host and game master. If you're joining us for the first time, the Dicey Cantina is not only a bar, but a secret rebel hideout in the slum city of Central Isthmus on the planet Druckenwell, rimward on the Corellian trade node. There, it's run by Brack, who also leads the rebel cell, and with whatever crew he can cobble together each week, will strike back against the Empire. And with that, our story begins. On this planet far, far away, a long time ago. Lizzie Pree, Druckenwell's only PI not on the take of a mega corporation, is returning home late one evening after a run to the local Bob's Noodle joint. And as she rounds the corner to her home, she has that gut feeling that she gets sometimes that something's wrong. And she looks up to see flashing lights, the blue and red, and a commotion just outside her office and apartment. As she looks down the street, she sees stormtroopers hauling boxes and escorting Jeeves, her medical droid, through the front door and down the steps to an impatient man pacing in the street. His dark duster and wide-brimmed black hat are unmistakable. It's Curtis Guru, the rival PI to Lizzie, and in the pocket of the megacorp SGI. SGI has just masterminded the takeover of the planet and handed it over to the Galactic Empire and the new governorship of the Imperial lackey, Theodore Kotavu. Lizzie, I know you're in there. You come out now. Skaru's loud voice breaks her train of thought. Skaru continues to shout at the empty building. Lizzie, don't make this harder on yourself. I know, oh, do I know, you have hiding places in there. I'm not going to search them all. I've already arrested your co-conspirators. Skaru gestures theatrically to the paddy wagon, and Lizzie, for the first time, makes out the recognizable faces of Detective Arn, Mozzie, John Jonah, and his son Jimmy through the barred windows. Skaru power poses and holds aloft a data pad at the empty building. Lizzie, I'm more than justified by this here warrant to use whatever means I see fit to resolve this search for you. Come out now or I'll burn you out. Skaru leans his ear towards the building as if listening for something. Nothing? What if the life of your friends here was at stake? Skaru deftly draws his blaster and holds it to Jeeves' head. Lizzie steps out from the corner out of instinct to protect her friends, but Arn catches her eye. His look implores her to stay away, to not give herself up. Skaru, not seeing anyone coming out of the building, doesn't wait for long. He pulls the trigger and Jeeves crumples to a pile at his feet. Skaru turns to the closest trooper and gives an order, and the stormtroopers raise their weapon and launch grenades into the window of each floor. Several flashes and pops later, flames begin to grow through the broken windows. Two troopers rush to the door and place something at the doorstep and rush back, and a loud explosion blasts open the trap door that Curtis had once fallen through. A third trooper rushes up and blasts it with his flamethrower. A whoosh of flames leaps out, flames engulfing Lizzie's home and black smoke choking out the sky. Skaru clearly believes Lizzie has died inside, that nothing could survive the fire. He gives the command to roll out and the troopers load up their trucks and drive away, taking the remaining captives, alive and unharmed, with them. Lizzie gathers her wits and watches the flames, and with just the clothes on her back, heads to the Dicey Cantina for Brack's help. Skaru's message burns loudly in the night sky. Imperial rule has come to Druckenwell. And then awesome action music starts as the opening credits play to our make-believe show here. Hey, everybody. Give your quick character introductions. Tell us who you are, what your PC looks like, what their creed and catchphrase is, and for our action scene, tell us what your action scene pose is for the opening credits. Who wants to kick us off?
Lizzie will go. She is a human with a mess of curly, moppy brown hair, wearing a trench coat, a stylish pantsuit, a pair of smart heels, and a fedora. Her opening pose has her looking at the camera underneath, like up from underneath the brim of her hat, and one hand is like holding the hat down. She kind of giving like a confident smile to the camera, or maybe a wink. Her catchphrase is, let's do this together. And what was the other thing you wanted me to say?
I think that was it.
Okay.
So that's. Did you tell us her name? I guess it's Lizzie because we already talked about that.
Lizzie Pre, Private Eye.
Finger guns.
Finger guns. No,
It's
she.
mine.
That's
Mine's
when.
finger gun.
That's when she like.
Oh right.
Private Eye, and then she looks at you from underneath the brim of her hat, like, yeah.
Nice. Speaking of finger guns, Brian, why don't you go next?
All right. I'm playing Iwood Jowick. He's a Twi'lek. He's kind of a professional con artist. You can call me Jaws. I am my appearance. I'm a slender Twi'lek. Good looking as far as they go. Wearing some tight black pants and shirtless with a vest. My catchphrase is finger guns with a wink. I just go. So there's no sound behind it other than that. But that's my character.
Awesome. Grant.
Yes, I'm playing Ginkgo Baram. I'm a Mon Calamari, and I am actually a trained engineer underneath the rebellion. I joined because my hero is Admiral Akbar, and I want to grow up to be just like him, although I've got a different skill set because I'm more good with machines and my hands, but I'm training to be a sniper. His action pose, I think, would be taking one knee, and he's got one hand on his trusty droid sidekick, MSE-33. He's a modded mouse droid, and then he's got like his blaster in his other hand. And his catchphrase is, "I think we can do this."
Awesome. And Paul.
Okay, so I'm playing Veer. He's a human, average size, brown hair, blue eyes, average build, kind of, you know. But he's an infiltrator, and his phrase is "a job is a job." He wears a lot of heavy clothing. Very easy to blend into the background of the crowd where they are. His action pose, I guess, would be I like the idea of him kind of standing in the back with lockpicks, or tinkering with something of that nature.
Awesome.
Did I say I said his name right?
Yes.
Okay,
Veer?
great. Yeah, Veer.
So we have Veer, Lizzie, Jaws, and Ginkgo. And our story is going to pick up just outside the Dicey Cantina, which is in Central Isthmus, the small slum city outside the major capital of Druckenwell. Druckenwell is a industrial powerhouse that was once ruled by the corporations themselves directly, but now they're under the thumb of the evil Imperial governor Theodore. Dicey Cantina has the most interesting exterior. It has the round airlock as its main door from an old spaceship that had crashed into the marshes, has been reconfigured into a cantina for the Central Isthmus swoop gangs and thugs and the like. It's bartended by Brack. Brack is a Mirialan. He's tall and built like a linebacker, but he is the Jolly Green Giant. He's got a very pleasant smile about him and a chunk missing out of his right ear that he doesn't like to talk about. Don't ask. But yeah, our story picks up with Lizzie standing just outside the door of the Dicey Cantina. She's holding the kind of destroyed remains of the head of her medical droid Jeeves. The rain pours and kind of drips off the brim of her hat as she steps into the cantina where Brack is standing behind the bar, where Brack is chatting with Ginkgo and Veer and Jaws. They kind of all turn to her as she comes in.
Brack! Lizzie stumbles into the bar, stained, uncharacteristically unkempt. She's got mascara streaming down her face, and she gives him a look that is like unmistakably, we need to talk right now and not publicly.
Lizzie, come here. What happened? What's going on?
She stumbles after Brack in a daze, and they sit down at a booth, I guess. And Lizzie just says, they took everything. Arn, Mozzie, Jimmy and John, everybody's gone. They burned my entire operation, my office, my house, my sanctuary, everything is gone. They killed Jeeves. She holds up Jeeves' melted head, and then she just kind of starts to babble and break down. Like Lizzie, perhaps for the first time ever, starts crying in public.
Brack kind of he slides over next to her at the booth and puts his arm around her.
Usually Lizzie
so
would
sorry.
bristle at this, but she's fine. Like, she can't even.
So sorry. I was just
It's gone.
just talking with Veer about how they were rounding everybody up from the old days. We're fortunate to be here in Central Isthmus. They're not going to come here. It's not safe for stormtroopers in the Empire to come up here. You're safe here.
They're all gone. Safe? Who cares about safe? They're all gone. Brack, everything is gone.
We can get it back, Lizzie. That they haven't taken anything that we can't take back.
They took Mozzie and Arn and Jimmy and John. They took everyone. They killed Jeeves.
I'm sorry about Jeeves, but Mozzie and Arn and Jimmy and John, they're still alive. They can still, we can get them back.
Do you know what they do to these people?
I have an idea.
I can't believe I couldn't save them. I failed them.
It's not your fault, Lizzie. SGI did this when they masterminded handing this planet over to the Empire.
They took all my files. I don't even know what's there. And Arn, like,
We're gonna get him back. It's gonna be okay.
I want revenge.
Revenge? No, revenge never helped anybody.
I want my friends back. You know,
we can get them back.
It was,
but we're not going to take revenge.
It was Skuru, and I want his head.
Oh, we have to be calculated about this, Liz. You can't go running off after Skuru. If we want Arn and Mozzie back from the Empire, we're going to have to think about this and work at it a very calculated way.
He's collaborating with them. He handed them my entire operation. I'm homeless, by the way. That's very far down on my list of concerns right now. But Curtis Skuru did this to me. He did this to all of us.
And he will pay, but in the right way.
I should have seen it coming. I should have prevented this.
Oh, there's no way to have prevented it. I have an idea of what we can do about this. And Brack kind of leans out and waves the three of you guys over.
Ginkgo hurries over because he can tell this lady is in distress and he's got a heart for others.
Lizzie elbows Brack pretty hard in the ribs and
hold on,
clears her throat in a manner that indicates she needs a real stiff drink.
Hi, my name's Ginkgo.
Brack holds up his hand to Veer, who's been a regular at the Dicey Cantina, and kind of points to bring the bottle from behind the bar over to the table.
Good call.
Veer grabs it and brings it over.
Lizzie extends her hand to Genko. Hi, Genko. I'm Lizzie.
Jaws sees an opportunity for free drinks, so he slides on over and joins the party, grabs a shot glass and holds it out, and waiting for someone to pour it.
Lizzie starts pouring generously.
So Lizzie, I was talking with these guys, and not specifically about your situation here, but I see an opportunity. I see something coming together here. I had just heard about what they were going to do with Mozzie. I didn't know that they were going to.
You knew?
Burn. I didn't know they were going to burn your place down. I just heard from my contacts that Mozzie and Arn had been arrested. It was just trying to formulate a plan for rescue. But it's not going to be immediate. The Empire is big, and there's just 5 of us right now. Well, 7 of us, but 5 of us here at the table. Ginkgo kind of has an interesting story and presents an interesting opportunity for us. Lizzie, I know that in the past you've been a help to the cause without fully joining us. And
Sign me up.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because Ginkgo's actually been assigned here from the Rebel Alliance directly. They heard that the Empire had come to the planet, and while the Rebel Alliance isn't necessarily aligned with exactly what we want, they are no longer getting the supplies or information or things they need from Druckenwell, and so they see an opportunity for a mutual friend for us. And I was just talking to Veer and Jaws, I think it was here, about this opportunity we have to play the long game with the Empire. To you all here at the booth, there's no great, I mean, I'm sure there's a formal way that this happens, but I've signed up with the Rebel Alliance. I'm not going to let the Empire stay here, and I'd like you all to join with me.
Yeah, we're here to help. Just let us know what we can do. That's the whole reason why you've caught the Druckenwell's caught the eye of the rebellion, and we're here to take on the Empire and see what we can do to those Slimos.
Look, guys, I just want off this rock. I ended up here. The spaceport got shut down. I'm sympathetic. I've got my own troubles. I need to get out of here before the bounty hunters catch up. So
you've got a safe place to stay here while you're here. The Central Isthmus isn't particularly friendly to our now rulers, but it's never been a friendly place for bounty hunters, and they particularly wouldn't come around here. So you seem to have a set of skills to help us out. Would you apply those to taking down the Empire?
If I have to.
If you want the free drinks, you have to.
Lizzie refills his shot glass and she says, "Criff, the rotting Empire. Where do I sign?"
Right here. It's going to be right here. I know that the cantina doesn't look that big, but before I go any further, we are going to take on the Empire. It's going to be substantial risk with what I think is a great reward, but I got to know everybody's committed.
Criff, risk. Lizzie doesn't have a shot glass. She's just drinking straight from the bottle. It's been a hard day.
And Brax gives the eyes. He's going to circle back around to that, but he turns to Veer. Veer, I know that you've been a regular around here, and you're not particularly. You're Druckenwell through and through. But how do you feel about kicking the Empire out?
Veer kind of looks at Brack for a while, and then sort of shrugs his shoulder and says, "If this is the job you need done, I guess it's as good as any."
His unblinking Mon Calamari eyes staring into Brack's soul.
Oh no, that's Ginkgo. Ginkgo's the fish.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Winning all the contests.
Veer's human, right?
Yeah.
Did I miss that? Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm so used to you playing a squid.
Yeah, a squid, right? Yeah, it's gonna be a change. No, he just yeah.
Well, everyone, I the one thing I know is that the population, the citizens here on Druckenwell are not safe with the Empire. I mean, you've seen what they've done to poor Lizzie here, and I'm sure Lizzie takes another swig.
The citizens on Druckenwell have never been safe. I was the only thing keeping any of them with a fighting chance, and now the Empire has taken even that away from them. Like, he just keeps drinking.
So we're gonna do it. We're gonna take this fight to the Empire the way we know how, because we live here and they don't.
For Arn and Mozzie.
For Arn and Mozzie.
Takes another swig. And
the
also for
Jonahs.
Jimmy and John and the fantastic sandwiches. We should take 3 more swigs.
Look,
You're kind of.
I'm not.
Starts leaning away from Lizzie a little bit. Like this lady's a little bit intense.
My friends just got arrested. They're going to be tortured. My entire home just got burned to the ground. They killed my droid. I'm intense right now. Sorry, deal with it.
Fear kind of holds his hands up like, whoa.
It's been a rough day, Lizzie growls.
So maybe the rebellion wasn't the best thing to bring up right now, but it's tangential to my main point, which is, Lizzie, you have a place to stay here. One of the things that has never been talked about, a secret in the family about the cantina that I've been keeping, is that a huge component of the ship that crashed here that made up this place is still intact and is ready to build a rebel base here. Oh, I have one problem with it.
What's that?
Well, as you know, the WUC, the utilities service here, never completed work for Central Isthmus to be a true place. You know, the suburb was abandoned early on in its progress. And so the citizens here have been living off of what power they can generate or siphon off. The whole electrical grid was installed in the sewers, but it's never hooked up and never been directed. And so I don't have power to power the turbo lift to actually open up the space. There's apartments down there and all of that.
That's SGI's doing. They kept voting against that.
I tried.
Oh, yes.
I tried tinkering with the generators here, but it's just not going to be enough.
No, it won't be, because they're holding all of the power like they do. Lizzie grumbles incoherently into her vodka.
Is that why this yogurt machine doesn't work?
Yes. Blame the Empire, blame SGI, and blame Curtis Skuru.
And they'll all get theirs. But we have to have a safe place to work from first. A place where we can know that the Empire isn't going to come in the middle of the night and burn it down. A place that they don't know about, that's off the grid from this place that's already off the grid. Although we're going to connect it to the grid.
Brad, tell me how I can strike back. I feel like that's where we're going with this.
So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to get power. And I have a way of doing that, but I'm going to need some help. So what I'm going to need is to have you lot here get the Dicey Cantina in this whole block reconnected to the planet's power grid. There's 2 things that have to happen with that, and one is someone's going to have to go down into the sewers, and I have a map here for you guys, and reconnect the grid physically back to the main planetary
You can
grid.
count me out of that sewer, bud.
Okay, but if you're reconnected, we got to make it untraceable.
Yes, well, and it currently is powered down. The sub-power station 11 is managed by Elit Riku, and she's the one who we have to get to. Her computer is the one that can route the power to the grid itself, and with a little bit of slicing, can hide it from even the Imperials. And so I need a second group to go to substation 11 and get in there and get the power back on.
That's critical. I'll do it. That's me. I'm on it.
Veer kind of snorts and is like, okay. A drunk, angry.
Lizzie just looks at him and glares. You don't know what I'm capable of, Veer.
Well, let's hope.
Well, we're gonna start getting to know each other pretty well here, but we've got to get the power on to get down there, and so you guys gonna help me out?
I'm not going sewer surfing. I'll volunteer to go to the power station as well.
All right, pretty boy, you're with me.
And I got no problem with sewers. I feel pretty at home in the water. But I might need another set of hands to get that connected down there.
Lizzie snorts at Veer. Ha! Looks like you're on deck, buddy.
Well, we can't all keep our fancy clothes spotless, I guess.
Well, there's a reason to go as a group of 2 as well. Veer, this wouldn't be a surprise to you, but Ginkgo, you kind of probably need to know that the sewers are pretty wide open around here. I mean, we are an archipelago planet after all, and so there's a lot of creatures down there. No one should venture into the sewers by themselves. It's not safe to be down there by yourself.
I'm not too worried. I got 33 with me.
Yeah, and speaking of Lizzie, Jaws, you guys, with this heading to substation 11, I feel it's important to let you guys know that you can't get caught over there. If you get caught, that the Empire is going to start knowing that we're building a resistance here, and they're going to come down pretty hard. Right now, we have the advantage that no one knows what we're capable of doing down here. And so you gotta keep it a secret.
Are you kidding me? I've never been caught.
So, Lizzie, you're hitting that bottle pretty hard. Are you sure your slicing skills are up to hiding the tracks when you get the power turned on?
I don't know about that, but I'm confident that we can find a way around it. I had questions, though, about the sewers.
Yes.
Have we heard anything about the Sandman recently?
No, he hasn't shown up anymore, and the area that we're talking about is far away from Utandu, where you and Nina last saw him.
Okay. Then she looks at Genko and Veer a little less like they're dead men, just outright. And then, of course, we can't get caught. I mean, Curtis Guru, I think he thinks I'm dead. He seemed to think he'd burn me out of my home. Well, or not burn me out, but burn me in when I didn't leave. I think he thought I was home.
Well, if everyone thinks you're dead, I might have suggested the Scots.
Yeah, I just don't want to... If everyone thinks I'm dead, I shouldn't prove them wrong at this juncture. So,
definitely be an asset.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. But, yeah, we'll do what needs to be done.
That's all for this week, but come back next week for more from the Dicey Cantina. If you're enjoying the show and you want to help us grow, please leave a 5-star rating and review on your favorite pod service. Subscribe to the podcast, of course, and recommend us to all your friends. You can also find us on social media on Facebook as well as YouTube at Dicey Cantina, all one word. The Dicey Cantina is GM'd by myself, Andrew Armstrong III. Lizzie Pree is played by Jessica Martin. Veer is played by Paul Craig. Ginkgo is played by Grant Bowen, and Jaws is played by Brian Russell. The Force and Destiny role-playing game is a product of Fantasy Flight Games from fantasyflightgames.com. Star Wars is owned by Disney and Lucasfilm and is created by George Lucas. See you next week in the Dicey Cantina.